Here we go, as two CanMNT stars and two-star fullbacks are set to join Vancouver Whitecaps, with Richie Laryea already officially declared a Vancouver Whitecaps player, as this is a huge deal. But following that, Vancouver Whitecaps went out and immediately got another deal agreed, as the Whitecaps have already agreed a fee and a deal with the Turkish side in Hatchispor in the Super League for the Canadian left wing back in Adekugbe. And this is astonishing, as it looks like there's growing optimism within the Whitecaps organization that they will get this deal done by the end of the day and get it wrapped up before the transfer deadline. And this is absolutely mind-blowing and a huge deal for, of course, Whitecaps fans, but a massive day for CanMNT supporters, as two stars of the national team in Adekugbe and, of course, Richie Laryea are making the switch back to the MLS and to the Vancouver Whitecaps. Of course, a former player in Adekugbe, who is a player who's come up through the academy and then went on to play in Europe and abroad, and Richie Laryea, who is joining from Nottingham Forest. And these transfers were all broken from the North American footballing god himself, in my opinion, in Manuel Veth, as Manuel Veth has been on the Vancouver Whitecaps ball consistently all day, breaking the Richie Laryea news, breaking the likes of Samuel Adekugbe's news, and we have to talk about these deals. As for me, these are massive steps backwards for the likes of Richie Laryea and Sam Adekugbe. I know they can looked at in so many different ways, but for me, I do have that MLS stigma, as I believe this league is massively for the likes of players who are younger, growing their trade, growing their talent in their career, and then they make that big move abroad, like we've seen with Ismail Kone, Alistair Johnston, and so many Canadians have done it, and even Alphonso Davies as a huge example. And you see players who are South American based, US based, all doing the same thing. But you also see this as a more of a retirement league as well, like Lionel Messi, Kaká, David Villa, Steven Gerrard. So many top players have come to the MLS and had their trade there as well. So for me, the MLS is a league where it's amazing to come in as a young player, grow your talent, go abroad and prove yourself and make that huge move, or end your career off. And players like Richie Laryea and Sam Adekugbe, who are still huge CanMNT stars and aren't that old and are still in their prime, is a massive step backwards. But we have to look at Manuel Veth's tweets, where he has come out saying this, quote, breaking, Vancouver Whitecaps FC have signed the likes of Richie Laryea from Nottingham Forest. Announcement soon, Laryea will be on loan, verbal agreement for permanent transfer in place for the winter. Whitecaps now switch focus to get Sam Adekugbe done next, which they have done, which looks like it will be done very soon. But before I move on to that transfer, I have to talk about Richie Laryea. Richie Laryea joining on loan from Nottingham Forest, and then they have a permanent transfer in place for the winter. That hits hard, and that is a huge blow. I thought him getting that transfer from Nottingham Forest was going to be a huge move for his career, going abroad, getting that transfer he finally deserved to get, and proving himself in Europe. But then once he made that loan to Toronto, I'm like, okay, maybe then we'll see him get some more development time. Nottingham Forest will be able to settle themselves in the Premier League and see where they want to use Richie Laryea. And now him coming back permanently at the end of his loan with Vancouver is a massive blow. Richie Laryea is not an MLS player. He is still in his prime, and he has shown that with his short stint back in Toronto on loan, where this season he managed a brilliant year for Toronto FC, and it's a huge blow for the club not to be able to retain him, as he went 18 matches, starting all 18, tallying 1,610 minutes, and having 2 goals and 3 assists in a shocking TFC side that is the worst side within the MLS. That's coming from a TFC supporter. This move hurts, but he has been our best defender all season. And it's not the fact that we're seeing a CanMNT star go to Vancouver from a MLS fan and TFC fan and myself. This is a huge CanMNT point of view from myself and perspective. There's no way Richie Laryea at the age of 28 in his prime, in his pomp, should be going to Vancouver Whitecaps and taking a massive step backwards. It's not the fact that I'm salty he's joining Vancouver. I'm not at all. I think it's great to see Vancouver is getting some starting Canadians in their side that Canadians can look up to in BC, in Alberta, in Saskatchewan, that they can look up to at Vancouver, which we've never had in the roster roster for so long. But a player in his pomp like Richie Laryea, getting that move to Nottingham Forest and now taking a huge step backwards to join Vancouver on initial loan and then a permanent, it's shocking. It really is. I understand that Whitecaps fans will be excited and everyone will be excited over this move. But from a CanMNT perspective, this is a shocking move for Canadian fans, for Canadian supporters. Yes, it's exciting to see a star within the MLS, like we've seen with Osorio for so long and other players, but Richie Laryea and Sam Adekugbe are taking huge steps backwards. But after that tweet, Manuel Sveff came out saying this. Sources: Vancouver Whitecaps have reached an agreement with Hatchespor for Samuel Adekugbe. Deal now pending on getting final paperwork with FIFA approved. There's a huge sense of optimism now that the CanMNT star will be returning to the Caps by the end of the day. And of course, returning to the Caps means he started his career with the Whitecaps. We all know this. He came through the Whitecaps Academy at the age of 18. He slowly came through, and at the age of 21, moved on, as he then went to Brighton in Championship and then moved on to play in many of the Nordic countries and the Slavic countries, and playing very well, having time in Turkey, Norway, Sweden, England. Samuel Adekugbe has had a brilliant career, but should not be in the MLS right now, and definitely not with Vancouver Whitecaps. They're both 28 years of age, Richie Laryea and Sam Adekugbe. Sam Adekugbe is 28, coming off the back of winning the Super League in Turkey with Galatasaray. Yes, he might not have been a starter or a player who was consistently in the pomp playing for Galatasaray, but when he did join the side, he managed to play 6 matches, having 6 starts for Galatasaray, winning the league, having an assist, 512 minutes. He was a very good contributor to the side. And the fact that he couldn't get a better move, it's not the fact that he didn't get a better move. He could have easily, I think, gotten a better move. But Manuel Sveff also tweeted saying Samuel Adekugbe wants to come back to Canada and play in his home country, which for me is a huge blow. I think Sam should be pushing the heights, playing for the best teams in the world, playing for the best teams in Europe, and coming back to Canada, it's a huge blow. It really is. I know I might look like I have an MLS stigma, and I love the league. I think it's an amazing league, but this league is for developing quality, developing young players, developing talented players like Kone, Alistair Johnston, Dane St. Clair's of this world, and moving them on to top European leagues and sides like Celtic, Watford, Bayern Munich. This is where the league develops young talent, develops exciting players like Vancouver is looking at right now, and bringing in a Gambian wonder kid. This team and this league, for me, is developing young talent and moving them on, or having players who are set to retire and letting them flourish and bring in new fans and new supporters. But this league is not for bringing in players in their pomp, like Sam Adekugbe and Richie Laryea. I know I have a saltier taste on this move. I'm not excited about these at all. It's great to see CanMNT stars playing in Canada, playing in the MLS. We can all see them, we can all watch them. But these players should be improving and striving for the best in Europe's best leagues and abroad. I understand it might not have appealed to these players. Maybe they want to come home, maybe family reasons, and fair play. But for me, these transfers aren't very exciting, and it's very unfortunate to see 2 players who are huge on the national team in their pomp, playing at the top level, coming back to the MLS. It's a huge step backwards, but for me, this is a huge chance for the likes of players like Liam Miller, the likes of Theo Corbeanu at that left wing spot, to be able to jump ahead of Sam Adekugbe now, as they're playing in better leagues. For me, I think in Switzerland, playing for Grasshoppers with Theo Corbeanu, having 2 assists, he's going to soon be ahead of Sam Adekugbe in the pecking order. And I think I will leave my mark on that. Guys, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments about Sam Adekugbe and Richie Laryea joining Vancouver Whitecaps, and what you guys think of these moves. Are they backward steps? Are they forwards, lateral? What do you guys think? Are you excited about the moves? Let me know down below in the comments. Drop a like and hit that sub button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.